Hi, everybody. Just wait till we get settled here. Looking forward to the seminar on Saturday
For North America.
and for North America. And I have a few questions here. Also have a couple for Saturday. But all questions are actually always welcome. Thanks to those who send them in. Appreciate it. This is a question from Catherine in British Columbia, Powell River. And she says, regarding experiences of shifting states and near-death experiences and any other experience you have, I've heard you explain that in these circumstances or experiences, things can appear to us in a particular way because they are seen through our own filters. I have to explain that before we go into anything else. Your experiences also express themselves through the filters that you already have. Some you may know, and that's rare, but most of them you don't know. So you have to keep in the back of your mind that you're finding out about yourself and through these experiences, because those experiences are a language that other states or higher states, or consciousness, whatever you want to call it, can speak to you with, and that you will then engage with those states based on the images and metaphors that you tend to make sense of, but through a process of discussion that only uses the language that you feel comfortable with. And that really means your interpretation. And that's fine. But keep that in the back of your mind. The experiences that occur to you are based on what internal thoughts and movements within you relate to. So, just to comment on that particular comment. I've heard you explain in these experiences things that can appear to us in a particular way because they are seen through our own filters or images that we believe are valuable. So in these states, we see something that's interpreted through a filter of our current or past life realities and beliefs. But we don't know what they are. This is primarily an important point. You do not know what your interpretation is until you speak it out, and then even then, you don't know where they came from, but you have a kind of tendency to believe you do. But just saying. So when you say it's not what you think, this is literally true because we can only experience realms of consciousness in ways we think. And there's a question mark there, which is, it's more of a statement. Literally, it's not what you think means not what you can come up with. Because it's more like you'll come up with something first, and if you keep thinking about something, an idea may occur to you that might be different. However, what we've done is held ourselves on the first thing that comes up, because we're so used to doing that in our normal engagement with life. We tend not to question ourselves. And this, of course, is fundamental because it makes us feel more comfortable when we don't question ourselves. It's important to allow yourself to question yourself, or at least wonder whether there might be another option that might be different than the one that you automatically come up with, because automatic reflexes are part of how we function in our daily life, whether we're aware of that or not. And we're not going to end up giving ourselves any kind of a hard time unless you're trained to give yourself a hard time. And then that is the language that you tend to use from time to time. Don't negate it, just notice it, be aware of it. And that way, you're constructing an kind of an empty place. I call that a meeting place between you and other states. The states that you already are involved with, whatever they may be, whatever your version of understanding might take you, and states that relate to trying to help you to understand beyond those quite determined ways of that you have, that you must think so that you are comforting yourself. This is not a negative thing, but it's a preparation thing. And it seems vital to have that. It's very astonishing that we don't really realize that our relationship with each moment of growth is what's true for us. Each moment of growth, how we interpret it, is what's true for us. Think about that. Each moment of expression with others is how we interpret what's true for us. It's not necessarily true. It's true for us. It's the nature of how we function here on these planes to come up with so-called reasoning or reasonable considerations as we might call valuable for us, and then we hold on to them tightly because we don't question them and we don't wonder about them. We hold them because if they sound valuable, then we are valuable. It's the nature of how we function here. So in constructing this meeting place, what you're trying to do is attempt to perceive how you function without the rhetoric, without the value of relating to what you think will make you important, what will think will not make you important, or valued or not valued. This is very difficult to do. And this is a rendering, a beginning of allowing yourself to understand that you're not trying to beat up on yourself, or you're not trying to obliterate yourself. What you're trying to do is see how and where you are in relationship to how you engage with the world. Watching it as opposed to assessing it. And we are taught to assess everything and comply, generally speaking, sociologically, with other people who believe they've figured stuff out. And this is a different thing, as we'll discuss in some other questions as they come up. We already have a particular view about what spirituality is and how a personality we think should function. And basically, that changes from moment to moment. Allowing yourself to see that it can change because what we come up with kind of is a rendering of understanding. It's a preparation for the next level of understanding. Preparation for the next level of understanding. Keep saying that over and over again. But we don't like that too much, because then that doesn't sell us as a person very well. It makes us different. Or it bothers the status quo that is constructed within us without our knowledge. But it's a rendering of how we have learned how to function on these planes. No negation there, it's just a rendering. Every other person on the planet may have some similar but not the same rendering, or they come up with other renderings. Of course, they're not right because it's different than your rendering. But it is only different. Not that it's not right or wrong, it's different. And this is very hard for us to understand. And any one of us, all of us, have difficulty with this. But each and every other that believes they have a different view believes in their rendering. Doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean yours is right exactly. It means it's yours. Your version at this moment, in an attempt to seek out a momentary truth that only relates to what you have within the context of your understanding, doesn't make it totally true. But you have a rendering. And if you believe only that your rendering is the only rendering, then in fact, you are only, let's say, participating in a very narrow band of relationship, which means you love you exactly how you think you need to love you in any given moment, and you don't want anything else to interfere with it. Well, that's a terrible thing to say out loud. So don't say it out loud. Say it within. Say, now I'm curious about what might come next. It's a dilemma with us, but nonetheless, we continue to grow, and just don't close the growing opening or the learning opening that can occur in a nanosecond, that can help you to see something quite different than what you have practiced within your own respectfully and valued way of engaging with life. It's fundamental, but very difficult for us. After we hit a certain age, and that age is fairly young, we now believe we're an adult, and then we function in the way we think we need to function. Look back 10 years ago, a few years back, a few moments back, if you can get there, and realize that not everything that you come up with was as valuable as you believe it needs to be in the instant that you express yourself in it. I think that's healthy there. When it isn't something, maybe when you can take a look and reconsider something. It's very difficult to do because it disturbs the image you're selling without knowing you're selling any image. None of us have perfect images. It's just real. But we're trained to do it differently. And this is what this whole engagement with various states is very interesting. When you have a form, this personality form that we have, it's in a way constructed so that you can actually make your way on these levels. They're pretty thick. Their focus is primarily on very materialistic backgrounds. And this is important because you can't pay your mortgage or rent or whatever. We need to survive. So when you're looking at engaging with other states, you have to remind yourself, and this is very difficult to do if you ever go through major engagements with different states, higher states, it's very difficult to maintain a focus on the material plane. Well, this is really important for us to do so. So often in many versions of spiritual growth that is easily called spiritual growth, there are ideas that say, get rid of your personality. Well, you can't do that. It's just not real. It doesn't work like that. There is a framework, a form that is cultivated by each and every one of us for a purpose. And that purpose is to function in these states. Therefore, if you begin to be able to shift into other states, in our level, we tend to use what we've created here to altruistically engage with our version of what we believe is a different state in a way that we do the same thing here. It's acquisition. It's an engagement with, you did the perfect thing. This idea is better than some other person's idea, or that idea is superior. And if we get enough people to agree with us, then it happens to be true, relatively speaking, for those people. And you'll hear this in society. How many people there are more of this group than that group. Therefore, that group isn't as good as this group because there's more people. This is just like materialistic engagement still. It's just what we do. It's not bad or good. It's what we do. See what you do. Soften it down. Be okay and understand that this is how you function, so you can build a place within yourself so that not only can you see yourself within you, but you can begin to see that which is not you in you. Not you as in the realm of a material plane. In other words, perceiving energy in a way that doesn't relate to you as being extra special because you have some form of materialistic energy that you've begun to perceive, or a materialistic definition of what you think is another state. Because that state is interpretation and a version of what you believe other states would be. That's all. Hold on to that until you have a different experience. We don't like waiting around. And then, if we have such a tremendous engagement with another state, it doesn't comply with exactly how we think it should based on our versions here. Therefore, now we are bothered by that. But it's really interesting. It's something I really find fascinating. It seems to me, may not be true, but it seems to me, that the only way some higher states can operate with you is to engage like you in you, to show you how you engage. But our interpretation of that often is, I engaged like this because that's part of me. It is. And now it's increased, therefore I must be more able. Because it increases in the way to help you to see it, but your interpretation says that must be, if I'm more of me than I was before, then I am really great. It doesn't work like that. But nonetheless, that's how we work it. We're learning little at a time, and we don't want it any more than little at a time. We say we do. And maybe we do. Just a little. But learning how to comfort yourself is a very important piece. Comforting, meaning slowing it down. What am I really watching here? What is this really? Is this me I'm seeing? If it is, how can I do that differently? Man, that's a lot of pressure. So, take some of the pressure off. Little at a time. Don't always believe everything that you think is really has to be true because that's the way you think. But don't always disbelieve it. What's that mean? It means go slow. So, okay, this is how it seems to be my truth right now. Well, my truth is better than anybody else's truth, one could say. But it's not like that. That is our personality orientation. That's how we do things. That's how we defend it. And this is not unnatural. This is just the most natural thing in the world. This is hard for us, but not impossible at all. And in that space where you start to be curious, you can use humor. When you see yourself doing some things that you wouldn't want anybody to do to you, kind of thing, you can start laughing a bit. A little bit, just a bit. I remember in Victoria, I said, here's the first laugh. Ha ha. Here's the second laugh. Ha 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 ha. Do you want a third one? And then finally, something really tickles you, and it's okay to laugh at it. So that you can discharge the vulnerability response that you have in really suggesting that you see something within you that maybe is a little bit difficult to handle. We all have that stuff. Whatever you think it might be, maybe. But spend time taking a look at you and never mind other people so much. What's that mean? It means take a look at what's going on inside of you. And one day, you'll understand that other people who take a look at what's going on in them run into similar things in different places than you, perhaps, but similar places. That way, you leave the door open for lifting into a different understanding of what you're experiencing and what should be and what shouldn't be. That would be really helpful, because then you open within you a new place where you can be actually really honest with yourself. But not only that, you can begin to notice, because you're noticing within you, other things within you that may not be yours. And then begin to understand others, because this is about energy and how we interact with each other, and how your responses tell you how you are sensing and declaring an understanding of the sensing of that energy without even thinking that you're an energy being, and this is, you're assessing the transmission of another that's occurring in there. Otherwise, you'll end up judging another based on your version of what should be and what shouldn't be, and you'll jump to conclusions. You won't really understand what's going on in that person. And this is really difficult for us because we're constantly translating and often misunderstanding others. Yes, everyone. Misunderstanding others for the purpose of being right within you. And the other persons, because they'd be plural, are relating in the same way. Because they're learning, sometimes not learning, but learning, maybe sometimes attempting to learn, what is actually going on in you, because everything in you has a reflex reaction relative to how you've been trained. And you don't question that very often. It's okay if you don't question it very often, but see it when you can. And that will help you to remain conscious ultimately and move into a direction where you can actually perceive that flow, not and admitting, not knowing where it's coming from and what it is. And then into a different state, beginning to understand that that flow of energy in you is a flow of energy, not only the stuff that stimulates your reactive states that have been constructed for years into a place of natural reflex. This doesn't negate anyone, and it doesn't negate you, because you're learning about how to do something, realizing that you couldn't do it before. Well, if you couldn't do it before, then obviously it didn't make any sense. You weren't always getting the right picture, or a picture that would be clearer, one could say. So beginning to allow yourself to broaden out and be a little bit more constructive, more positive, yet at the same time knowing full well that there's both sides of the fence there, as well as the middle ground. Maybe perhaps we are kind of two-dimensional in our relationship with what we think might be true. This is right and this is wrong, and that's it. This is really, really limiting. That's where limiting occurs. Because you don't allow yourself to even understand anybody else. You're only relating to being the God, the only one that's perfected reality and its real true purpose. You are the only right one. This is unfortunately psychologically not helpful to anyone. But our version of interaction is often very similar to that. Check it out yourself. It may be helpful, it may not be helpful. Just try to check it out yourself. I said something else here. I'm not sure whatever else. Let me take a look. I think I've covered our making sense of things is still based on our bias, which is really true. Unless this, and by the way, this includes the unconscious reflexes that are really interesting. Wow, if you have a reaction to something, it's really interesting. You are vulnerable in some place that has been touched by a thought, an energy movement, transmission, one could say, or just a version of thinking that you've already decided is not as important or not as valuable as yours. It's very interesting. Be curious about that. Why would I think this way to the exclusion of all others? Has a kind of a tilt there, or a lilt, very tonal. Try to check it out the best you can. And the implication is that we can handle anything. That's what we think. We can't. We don't handle everything. And we can't handle everything about us. It's something that is uncomfortable when we're thinking about it. That makes us feel awkward, and it's okay. Some things you can handle better than others, and others will handle things better than you in some areas. And in some areas you won't know how, but you'll anticipate how you handle them. And the same is true for others. We're in this level of engagement. All of us are. And, it is a reflex to want to be considered more important than others. That's something that we've been trained to kind of implement in our lives. And if everybody does it, then it's allowed to do. You can do that, and then you can put other people down, all the rest of the stuff that goes on. It's unfortunate, because then you blind yourself. You're not able to see anything that is different than what you believe has to be true. It's too bad. However, it holds you in a position. And if you are in some circumstances like that, you're better off to see it so that you can soften it down a little bit. You might keep it there for a while because that's what you're doing right now. That's your truth, so-called. But then ever so slowly, you might begin to be able to see through that, because the intensity that you come up with is helping you to hide from an opening that may be helpful to you beyond what you understand and beyond the states that you've already considered yourself to be extra great at or very poor at, whatever it may be. Learning how to find that middle ground is very difficult for us. But slow it down. Slow it down. And I wish you well with it. Here's another question. Looks like I'm not sure if I've slipped into this question. And this is from Catherine as well. Can you talk about attachment to self? Oh boy. My understanding is that in general, from a psychological perspective, healthy attachments are considered to be a good thing. Yeah, healthy ones. Because here's why they're healthy. They become platforms of how to engage with life to help you to feel comfortable inside yourself. This is really a very valuable thing. And then to attempt, if you feel more comfortable inside yourself in a balanced way, you'll kind of want others to feel comfortable in themselves in a balanced way. Look out for this one, because we're not trained that way. Our training is more that if we're more comfortable and more balanced, then we're more valuable than somebody else, because they're not. And they can't be because this and this and this and this. This is not a psychological game. It's not about being better than anybody else at all. But we interpret things that way based on how we're feeling, how we don't want to feel bad, and it's understandable that we sometimes do that. But being healthy is a lot more complicated than that last statement, that's for sure. And yet in spirituality, there is an opposite message that attachments hold us back. Attachments are really interesting. And I'll continue on with this one first. Specifically, there is a problematic attachment, as we all seem to have, to our small personal self. You see, we all have a small personal self. But it's more a personal self rather than a small personal self. This is where we get messed up. It's the self that we have. It's the one that we've been a part of in its construction. And also, we've been served it. After so many, we're watching subtleties. We're not only watching words that were expressed, emotions that were responding. We're watching subtleties. And in little ways, we're acting like those who have taught us. Can't get away from it. It's still there. However, what you can do, again, is become informed little by little. Watching, noticing, being okay. Hesitate. Hear you. Hear how you speak, wonderful or not, and say, that's interesting. If I use that tone, okay, then it's the right tone. But if others use that tone with me, I will be upset at them. Why would others not be upset at you for using that tone? Interesting question. Just a question. You say that to yourself. You don't ask others. You engage with it. You see it. You're learning. And learning how to be more respectful, not only to others, but to you, by allowing that to occur. This is extremely difficult to do 100% all the time, or 100% anytime. If you have the illusion that you are doing it 100% all the time, then that is a delusion. That's what's called a delusion. So be deluded in small ways. See your illusions and catch them and say, my God, I'm deluded into thinking I'm perfect. That's too hard. Do that about 5-10%. And then start to smile. Learn how to smile after some of those things. And in the moment, be okay with pulling back the best you can. You'll not want to. You'll not want to. It's too risky. Because that somehow demeans, drops down the fervor of the value attended to by many of us. We're just human beings and we do stuff like this. It's real. So, but we don't like it when others do it. That's for sure. Specifically, there is a problematic attachment that we all have in our small personality life. So in trying to notice how we defend and protect, we are actually noticing an attachment to self. It's true, we are. But we need a personality. This idea of watching that personality, formation of a place within where you can see that a little bit better than you could before, that place is the growing place, the seeing place, the meeting place, whatever you want to call it. It's where you can begin and then get broader and broader. And in doing that, in the many older traditions, you begin to notice the spiritual self beginning to be available to your seeing. You see it better. Problem is, look out for that personality because it's tricky. Once it starts to see something, now it's more important because it can see something and perceive something. This has always been the difficulty. And there were books written about in the old Sanskrit versions of be careful, don't give anybody any information about real spiritual growth because they will become exceedingly important and when they're not, and that will hold them from growing. It wasn't they will be miserable and mean. They might be, but they will be 10 times what they were before and never see it. Therefore, they will not be helpful to themselves. And it was more in that line where those very able people did not want to stop people from growing. And they were fearful that people would be elevated in their own mind and therefore they would stop growing because they closed themselves off from growing. They already believed they were all grown up. None of us are. We continue whatever levels we engage. Infinity is a long way. Getting to a point where you can engage with those higher states just means it's a beginning. And beginning is very important. Treating it like it's beginning is very valuable. Treating it like as if it's some ultimate peace slows down the process, even stops it, because you won't let it, and you'll defend something that's not even close to real. That was the fear, the great fear. And it was not something that was negative. It was something that was really helpful and hard to understand for us. So trying to notice how we defend and protect, we are actually noticing an attachment to yourself. Yes, but you can't look at it like you will reach a perfect place in you where you will not be attached to yourself. It's not even practical. It's not even real. You love you. And that's an act of love. Understanding that you love you more than you love anybody else. Or that you even care to love other people, because you got to use that all for yourself so you can be really wonderful, is the dilemma that the ancients were concerned about. The paradox is, as you begin to engage with others, you ache to help others. As that level begins to slide in ever so progressively slower and in real, you can't stand hurting anybody. That's not what's normal here. We often don't even know how we hurt people. We just do it because it seems to be the right thing to do at the time, subtle or not. That doing right there is real attachment to self. The self is not even kind of real. It's a bunch of images and reflexes that are energetic in nature, that are natural for us because they're habitual. And we do the best we can with that. Learning how to be helpful to others is not easy because you already think you are, because there's no opening for help to come in to be helpful. Our first line of engagement with these things is stuff we learn. And then we construct a system. One we call material, another one we call spiritual. There's no difference. These are both the same. Love for the material and love for the spiritual is love. But it's in different directions, different purposes. I apologize for the difficulty in the language, and I'm doing the best I can with this kind of a thing. How can we notice what is healthy attachments to self versus what we may need to distance ourselves from? You see, that's material again. Seeing and understanding. Try to make sense. Try not to be too harmful to others. This is really hard for us. Because we really don't know what's harmful for others. And they don't know what's harmful for you. Learning about that makes you softer. Now, you may have something in you that says, never be softer. Always be tough. And I think that's in us all in relationship to survival. Let me see if there's anything else I put down here. How are we doing? Okay. I think I've talked about almost everything. So I've talked about the construction of the three aspects of our personality: physical, emotional, and mental, and all the reflexes we have in the protection of these things. And these are considered in relationship to value. Consider them in relationship to clothing you wear. I need to have these clothing under these circumstances the best I can. You will not be always good at whatever it is. You'll sometimes wish you were a lot better. And sometimes you'll notice you're not very good. And it's okay. It's all right if you're not very good at something. It's all right if you are good at something. Too much emphasis on the self being right or wrong causes psychological problems. You won't even notice them. And that, so that others are always wrong and you are never wrong. That's a psychological problem. But I don't like the word wrong. Why? It's a good question. It seems as if we come up with ideas that we need to try out to see what we think about something, so we speak them out. If you can hesitate a little bit and listen to what you're saying and how you're saying it and why you're saying it, the why will be the thing that is a reaction. How you say it with the intensity is a response to the reaction of how you know you should only, that result should only be like this. And then finally, you have an emotional interaction which is verbalized, and even at that point, you're not listening anymore, and you haven't been listening for a while. You've only been reacting. And verbalization can be reaction as well as it can be reasoning. But if you try to remember, all reasoning is not always good reasoning. It's not always bad reasoning. It's just a type of reasoning that you believe is the right way to reason. Not always that either. See how complicated we are? I certainly wish you well with those two questions. In your attempt to answer them, keep in mind, we love what we believe we think is true. And that truth, whatever it is, don't care what it is only a stepping stone, perhaps if you let it, to broadening out your understanding of a broader way of engaging with that self-expression that you just talked about. Same is true for anybody. Thinking about these things kind of important. See that you can think, because you can. I wish everybody well with those things. These are not easy. If real spiritual inner growth was easy, so many people would be enlightened beyond what they think is true. And that would be fantastic. I wish everybody well, and we're going to meditate now, and I think Marlene's going to come up with some music for us. And please take care, and we'll see you, North Americans, on Saturday. And one other thing I'd like just to make a comment on. A number of people have been talking about energy and physical responses or emotional responses or even mental engagements while engaging with this energy. One thing I've always believed in: don't necessarily only think that a physical, emotional, or mental response is energy. We live in the 21st century. Thank you very much. And it's important. Check something out if it's physical. It's important because physical responses are not always only energetic. We have a DNA and RNA. We have a physical body that is affected by our engagement with our parental background, and things can go awry. Check it out. We live, fortunately, hopefully, in a country where that is possible, and I hope. Older. I'm sorry?
And we're getting older.
And Marlene says, and we're getting older. Of course, he's talking for himself, not me. I know I'm older. Some days are really great. Some days are a little less great. But we know we get older. That's the way it is. So just don't do an automatic, it's energy. Do an automatic, okay, let me find out whether I'm okay, and if I am okay, good. It might be energy. But often that energy will dissipate rather quickly, the responses that you have. So if they don't dissipate, you get yourself to get a checkup. You might not want to talk about the fact that you think it might be energy. You just get blood tests and make sure you're okay. I wish all well. Take care. See you in the weekend.
रत्नैः कल्पितमासनं हिमजलैः स्नानं च दिव्याम्बरम् नानारत्नविभूषितं मृगमदा मोदाङ्कितं चन्दनम् जातिचम्पकबिल्वपत्ररचितं पुष्पं च धूपं तथा दीपं देवदयानिधे पशुपते हृत्कल्पितं गृह्यताम् सौवर्णेन नवरत्नखण्डरचिते पात्रे घृतं पायसम् भक्ष्यं पञ्चविधं पयोदधियुतं रम्भाफलं पानकम् शाकानामयतं जलं रुचिकरं कर्पूरखण्डोज्ज्वलम् ताम्बूलं मनसा मया विरचितं भक्त्या प्रभो स्वीकुरु छत्रं चामरयोर्युगं व्यजनकं चादर्शकं निर्मलम् वीणा भैरीमृदङ्गकोहलकला गीतं च नृत्यं तथा साष्टाङ्गं प्रणतिः स्तुतिर्बहुविधा एतत्समस्तं मया सङ्कल्पेन समर्पितं तव विभो पूजां गृहाण प्रभो आत्मा त्वं गिरिजामते सहचराः प्राणाः शरीरं ग्रहम् पूजा ते विषयोपभोगरचना निद्रा समाधिस्थितिः सञ्चारः पदयोः प्रदक्षिणविधि स्तोत्राणि सर्वा गिरो यत् कर्म करोमि तत् अखिलम् शम्भो तवाराधनम् करचरणकृतं वा कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वापराधम् विहितमविहितं वा सर्वमेतच्छमस्व जय जय करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शम्भो दाता न पुत्रो न पुत्री न भृत्यो न भर्ता न जाया न वेद्या न वृत्तिर्ममैव गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि भवाब्धावपारे महादुःखभीरो प्रपात प्रकामी प्रलोभी प्रमत्ता कुसंसारपाश प्रबद्धः सदाहम् गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि न जानामि दानं न च ध्यानयोगम् न जानामि तन्त्रं न च स्तोत्रमन्त्रम् न जानामि पूजां न च न्यासयोगम् गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि न जानामि पुण्यं न जानामि तीर्थम् न जानामि मुक्तिं लयं वा कदाचित् न जानामि भक्तिं व्रतं वापि माता गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानि कुकर्मी कुसङ्गी कुबुद्धि कुदास कुलाचारहीन कदाचारलीन कुदृष्टि कुवाक्य प्रबन्ध सदाहम् गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेव त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी प्रजेशं रमेशं महेशं सुरेशं दिनेशं निशीथेश्वरं वा कदाचित् न जानामि चान्यत् सदाहं शरण्ये गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी विवादे विषादे प्रमादे प्रवासे जले चानले पर्वते शत्रुमध्ये अरण्ये शरण्ये सदा मां प्रपाहि गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी अनाथो दरिद्रो जरारोगयुक्तो महाक्षीणदीन सदा जाड्यवक्त्रा विपत्तौ प्रविष्ट प्रणष्ट सदाहम् गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवस्वरूपोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवस्वरूपोऽहं नित्योऽहं शुद्धोऽहं बुद्धोऽहं मुक्तोऽहं नित्योऽहं शुद्धोऽहं बुद्धोऽहं मुक्तोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवस्वरूपोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवस्वरूपोऽहं नित्योऽहं शुद्धोऽहं बुद्धोऽहं मुक्तोऽहं नित्योऽहं शुद्धोऽहं बुद्धोऽहं मुक्तोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवस्वरूपोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवस्वरूपोऽहम् अद्वैतमानन्द रूपं अरूपम् अद्वैतमानन्द रूपं अरूपम् ब्रह्मोऽहं ब्रह्मोऽहं ब्रह्मस्वरूपोऽहं ब्रह्मोऽहं ब्रह्मोऽहं ब्रह्मस्वरूपोऽहं चिदोऽहं चिदोऽहं सच्चिदानन्दोऽहं चिदोऽहं चिदोऽहं सच्चिदानन्दोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवस्वरूपोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवस्वरूपोऽहं नित्योऽहं शुद्धोऽहं बुद्धोऽहं मुक्तोऽहं नित्योऽहं शुद्धोऽहं बुद्धोऽहं मुक्तोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवस्वरूपोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं शिवस्वरूपोऽहं शिवस्वरूपोऽहं मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कार चित्तानि नाहम् न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायु न वा सप्तधातु न वा पञ्चकोश न वाक्पाणिपादं न चोपस्तपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न मे द्वेषरागो न मे लोभमोहो मदोर्नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्थं न वेदा न यज्ञः अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं न मृत्युर्न शङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धो न मित्रं गुरो नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो विभूत्वाच्च सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणां न च सङ्गतं नैव मुक्तिर्न मेया चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहम्
ब्रह्ममुरारिसुरार्चितलिङ्गम् निर्मलभासितशोभितलिङ्गम् जन्मजदुःखविनाशकलिङ्गम् तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् देवमुनि प्रवरार्चितलिङ्गम् कामदहन करुणाकरलिङ्गम् रावणदर्पविनाशनलिङ्गम् तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् सर्वसुगन्धिसुलेपितलिङ्गम् बुद्धिविवर्धनकारणलिङ्गम् सिद्धसुरासुरवन्दितलिङ्गम् तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् कनकमहामणिभूषितलिङ्गम् फणिपतिवेष्टितशोभितलिङ्गम् दक्षसुयज्ञविनाशकलिङ्गम् तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् कुङ्कुमचन्दनलेपितलिङ्गम् पङ्कजहार सुशोभितलिङ्गम् सञ्चितपापविनाशकलिङ्गम् तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् देवगणार्चितसेवितलिङ्गम् भावैर्भक्तिभिरेव च लिङ्गम् दिनकरकोटिप्रभाकरलिङ्गम् तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् अष्टदलोपरिवेष्टितलिङ्गम् सर्वसमोद्भवकारणलिङ्गम् अष्टतरेत्रविनाशकलिङ्गम् तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् सुरगुरुसुरवरपूजितलिङ्गम् सुरवनपुष्पसदार्चितलिङ्गम् परमपदं परमात्मकलिङ्गम् तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम् तत्प्रणमामि सदा शिवलिङ्गम्
Now we'll just do the balancing and the grounding. And have a good evening, everybody.